What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the video. I'm starting it off with a little breakdown here. Normally for cardio I would hit the bag and do some punches and kicks, but today I am doing some blaze pod work with my single stick, padded stick of course. So for the first round I'm just using an angle 4 snap, just trying to keep it all in line. Nice and sharp, nothing too crazy. And I didn't want to load it up too much from the closed position. You can see I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. Not really with my feet, but with my body, just to try to keep it a little bit more free and just play around with it a little bit. Alright, so for this round here, I'm doing an angle 4 and taking a little step in, and I'm following up with an up and you go right to left. Just by nature, you can see my safety hand, I'm just going out to check. Sometimes I actually tap the blaze pod itself, and then I start to go a little bit different, so I can make sure that my accuracy with the angle 4 actually causes the blaze pod to signal off. But very important with that abaniko, you can see is I'm really trying to add in some explosiveness to it. So when I pull back that angle 4, trying to stay nice and tight in the closed position, and then I can shoot my hips and shoulders into the super sharp abaniko and then create some distance again. Alright, so for this final round here, after I put the blaze pod back in its holster, I wanted to be a little bit more closer, and I was using an angle 2 corto strike. So one of the main differences here is you can see I'm kind of swiping on more of a high line towards my head, and the motion that I'm actually doing is almost like a V pattern from left to right. And what I want to focus on, and the reason why I did this, is because I want to go from a closed position, which is where naturally I would end up after a snap, and I want to end up in the open position so that I can follow up with a forehand strike. So I'm almost using it to like wipe away, and then I can go into whatever technique I want to, starting with an angle 1 or any other forehand slash or snap.
Alright guys, so since we did a little bit more of Kali pad work, in terms of like the cardio, the breakdown, I thought I'd switch it up. So this is actually going to be what I'm going to be teaching tonight for all of my students in our Kuntao class. And this is really good universally because it gives you a little bit of analysis of your opponent and understanding kind of how the body language incorporates the fakes and how the fakes become that more effective. So usually the way we do this is we would classify a fake as a fake and a strike as a strike. There's no in-betweens. So most of our kicks have like a chamber point before the actual extension, which would be the strike. Now, there comes a point in time that as much as I could try to sell this, it's not going to set off the alarms in my opponent's head because nothing has gotten that close to them. So I'm going to roughly say that my wave master is my opponent, and they're roughly around the same size as me. So if I'm constantly, flicking my knees up, it only does so much. They might, kind of start moving their body a little bit, but they're not going to really extend their hands unless the energy of the fight is really up there and the adrenaline is high and we're kind of both engaged. So one of the most important parts to making sure that this type of fake works, that I'm about to show you, is keeping the energy very calm. So most of the times if I'm in a fighting stance, I'm more of a bouncer when I fight. Sends off the message that I'm preparing to strike. Like I'm actively engaged, and I want to send them a different story. So I kind of stand more tall, and I'm going to use a frontal kick or a push kick, either with my lead leg or my rear leg, but I'm going to do it to kind of test the waters and use it as a fake itself. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to aim low, something I don't have to really commit to. And I'm not actually trying to kick them, but I do want to bother their hands or even tag them on their body if their hands are nice and high. It's not going to hurt them, but I want them to know that I can hit them. So as I'm kind of pacing around here, I can go once with the left, twice with the left. Okay? I can do once with the left, once with the right, or I could do from the rear and then the rear again. Okay? So the timing of it's kind of creating a pace, a rhythm, but it's still very relaxed. So I don't want it to go 1, 2, and then I hop into my actual strike from there. It becomes too believable or too obvious. So you could time it 1, move around a little bit, 2, and then on the third count, doesn't have to always be the third, but I'm gonna do a frontal roundhouse, or what most people know as a question mark kick. So that's when I take the frontal line, which should look exactly the same as my fake, and then I use that to bait around into my roundhouse. So if I go left, left, I'm going 1, 2, same line here. I flip it up into the roundhouse, okay? If I do left, right, I'm going left, right. I need to drop this down behind me and push off the ground. It's a lot easier if I went left, left because it drops down in front naturally. So it's much easier to bring it back up to kick again or to fake again. But because I'm using my rear, and then I'm gonna hit with my rear again, I gotta make sure that I can bounce off the ground to cut that timing down, okay? Now, also when I do that, if I'm gonna fake with my rear, it's very important that when I bring this down, I bring it back up the same line, and I don't get too carried away with that, right? So as I'm here, I need this to feel the exact same, and then I can spring into the frontal roundhouse, okay? If I do double right, now the timing has to be more spaced apart because I gotta accommodate that recovery, even more so than the front. So now I'm gonna go touch, maybe move around a little bit more, touch again, body still nice and high, posture's here. I look down towards the bottom of the bag, which will be kind of around their low line, their shins, their thighs. I look down, so when I come up, it looks like all my attention is going down here, which should bring their hands down there as well, and that's why I nail them on top there, okay? So I'm going here, eye contact maybe on the second one, now on the third one, eye contact again, I flip up, and there's my frontal roundhouse, okay? So that's like a quick way I like to use the touches, not only to gauge the range, gauge the energy, see if I'm in control of it, but also I take that light contact that you're allowing me and I use it to roll over into a second, third technique where we talk about, they're like half fakes, half a strike, half a fake, which normally isn't the best thing to do, but when you're in control of your range and your body, it's a pretty decent technique, right? And then the last one I'm gonna teach tonight is using that frontal fake to bring my foot in front in more of what we call like a straddle. It's very common in like Taekwondo, karate styles. We go sideways with that lead leg, a lot easier to move in and out, and we can launch that powerful roundhouse from the lead, or we can go like into a powerful side thrust. So that's my bread and butter. So if I'm here, I'm relaxed, I bring the right knee up, I'm gonna drop it down. From that drop, the pace increases. So I'm relaxed, once this drops here, I gotta explode off of the step. I'm gonna do what's called a gallop step, where basically my left leg comes in from the rear, kicks up my front leg, I'm gonna compress it into my knee, pointing my glutes out at my opponent, and then I'm gonna explode like if I was doing like a squat, I'm gonna kick right through the bag. Okay, so we call it a side thrust particularly because I don't want to touch the bag like so, and then just cut it off. I don't wanna bounce off the bag either. I wanna feel like I'm kicking through with my heel, and I wanna be able to maintain and drive forward, okay? So I'm going fake, big time here, and really drive through, okay? Nice and relaxed. Fake, drop it down. This is where we gotta speed it up. And then you get a lot of power.
All right, guys, just want to take a quick moment to update you on a little bit what's happening here and with a lot of the stuff that are going to be available to you guys. So first and foremost, if you guys have been following me, you know that this wall, this very notorious artwork on all the videos is located in Union Martial Arts, which is my physical martial arts academy where we do teach the Anastacio curriculum. We do have a Kuntao or karate program, striking program. We are in Ontario, which is located in Canada. The province of Ontario is in this like half lockdown, not really lockdown, which is pretty annoying. Where basically we can't operate. Certain store, pretty much every store is allowed to open at a particular capacity. And then what they just allowed us to do recently is to
have outdoor classes as long as we maintain physical distancing, we wear masks and so on and so forth, to a maximum of 10 people. So literally behind the camera in the parking lot, that's where we're training every Saturday, twice a week, if you will. So right now my schedule looks like Monday and Wednesday I'm teaching virtual classes to all my students, and then Saturday we have the optional in-person outdoor training. This whole half lockdown confusion is, there's so many exceptions, and then there's a lot of things we can't do. You know, I'm sure you've heard it all before. You can go to a grocery store where people are literally shoulder to shoulder, but you pretty much can't see anyone unless it's outdoors. You can go to Costco, but you can't train in a physically distanced gym. So anyways, the reason why I'm doing it is because with a lot of my students, particularly in the youth group, they have been doing this since November. And this is the second time they've done it where we had to transition to virtual classes. And I can see the fatigue in them. It's not that they don't love martial arts anymore, but slowly these kids are disconnecting, and they're probably drained from being in front of a computer all day. Many of them are still doing online school on top of online extracurriculars like training here at Union Martial Arts. It's not that they don't love martial arts, because I try to make class as interactive as possible. I try to engage with them. I try to make it fun the way that they remember it here. They just don't love this kind of martial arts. You know, there's only so much you can do at home. And last week we even had our first outdoor class. And the students that did show up in both age groups, the adults and the youth, the first thing they said was, this is so different. It's like they forgot what it felt like to be around people training, the kind of energy we present to each other, the kind of motivation that we feed off of each other when we get a little tired, when we feel like, are we doing this right? Are we not doing this right? And so I really wanted to do it for that reason. Give them a chance to interact safely. Give them a chance where they can see classmates and they could do something outside of home, get the fresh air, feel the sun on them without breaking any rules, without feeling guilty about it. My adult students, they're go-getters. They don't need to be motivated to train. They either do it or they don't. And 9 times out of 10, if they don't, they have a valid reason for not training. But it's the same thing. Just give them that sense of interaction, give them that sense of community that I feel Union Martial Arts strives off of. We are not a 10,000 square foot unit. We're actually only a 2,000 square foot unit, which is relatively small in comparison to a lot of other martial arts schools, not just here, but in general. I know some of you guys probably train at or know gyms that are 10 times the size of mine. It's like a fun factory. But the one thing I do know that we have here is a sense of community. Everybody knows each other. We have such a strong connection between student to student, teacher to student, and that's something that's taken a hit over these past couple months, continuing on in Zoom class. So that's kind of what I've been up to off of the camera, plus some other things which I will kind of hint at. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you probably have an idea of what is going on in my life right now. But something that kind of applies to all of you guys is that recently I have the privilege to be a part of Team Onnit. So if you guys don't know what Onnit is, the brand of Onnit is something that I've always followed since I got into martial arts. One of the things I wanted to do when I got to a particular point and I started reaching out to companies, or companies started reaching out to me to collaborate, I wanted to be represented by companies and brands that I truly believe in and that I feel like their message is one with me. And you guys know I'm all about longevity. I'm all about recovery, being able to have martial arts as a part of your life and keep it as wholesome as possible. To me, Onnit is kind of like the gold standard, and a company that really, really resonates with a lot of mixed martial artists, combat sport athletes, even other athletes as well. But particularly, I feel like they've always been there for combat sports athletes, and that's the company that I wanted to represent. That's the company that I wanted to work with and grow with, and give me a chance to excel and improve my performance on and off the mats, in front of the camera, as well as give you guys the opportunity to do so as well. If you guys want to go ahead and jumpstart and get yourself some products, anything there from their equipment to their apparel to, of course, their nutritional supplements, protein, and all the good stuff, you guys can simply go on the website and use the discount code Anastacio to save you some money. The description box has the link that you can follow right away. So a little treat for you guys, and I'm going to continue to work so that all of you guys that support this channel will also get a little bit back in return for things that I feel honestly are a necessity if you are a martial artist, if you are an athlete, the ability to fuel and recover your body in the best way possible. Now, in terms of actual academy upgrades, because we're closed, I took the opportunity to do minor upgrades, some major upgrades, and just continue building this gym to be the best 2,000 square foot facility on planet Earth. One of the things I've been working on is updating the mats in which we train on. If you guys can see, it's kind of like a multi-shade of different grays. We have the main gray, which coincides with the walls. We have this lighter gray, and then we have this like stale gray. The story is gray that I stand on right now is the original purchased. That was the theme I wanted to go with. Lo and behold, my math is wrong, so I had to get a couple more mats. So from the same supplier I ordered, they came out like this. Now we got this lighter strip here. When I first got here, I was sharing this unit with another martial arts school, which I eventually bought out, but they purchased these mats that are completely separate from these mats. They're even different texture to increase the mat space. So that eventually came to me after I bought them out, and now I have this kind of zoo of a gym. When it comes to functionality, the mats work perfectly fine. In terms of aesthetics and kind of the brand that I want to push for Union Martial Arts, it does not. I want Union Martial Arts to be known as an elite academy. I don't want the academy to be viewed as a McDojo, a corny gym, a YMCA after-school program. We produce, we train elite level martial artists, and to have a synergy with that brand or with that message, we too need to be an elite facility. So I don't want it to look like I just salvaged a bunch of mats and put it together. I want to have a brand, I want to have a message, I want to have a theme, and most importantly, I want to be able to show that I can execute on it. And that is a big thing for me. So kind of working with trying to figure out where these gray mats are, because the supplier is currently having issues figuring out how the heck did I end up with a darker gray, because apparently this is the main one that they distribute. So we're working with that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize. I know it is anticlimactic because we are in this half lockdown where we can't be close to people, but we can shove ourselves in grocery stores. We can't train indoors, we can train outdoors, but we can't touch each other. Are we open? Are we closed? It's frustrating, but I'm gonna continue to bring you guys as much content as possible. Whether it is martial arts related, business related, I wanna continue to give you guys good content and also teach you guys and show you guys what you wanna see. So if there's any particular martial arts topic you want me to go over, please let me know in the comments below, guys. I love to teach you guys what you love to see when it makes sense. I'm not going to show you what's going to happen if you use a live karambit and you accidentally cut yourself. But make sure you guys let me know if you guys are interested in taking a step further and training with me. Right now, Anastacio is having an Easter sale. You can save a decent amount of money on both the premium access and the premium plus access. So premium will give you all 4 lessons for the month, and premium plus will give you the 4 lessons plus access to my exclusive live class that I teach every single month. So check that out. Description box has everything you guys need. And if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate it if you guys gave it a thumbs up. If you subscribed, if you didn't subscribe to the channel, it really helps the channel grow. It really gives me the idea that you guys are digging this stuff. And as always, everyone, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are getting your training in wherever, whenever possible. And until next time, I'll catch you guys then.